deal with airplane peanuts?
Only 3 hours after the flagrant episode with Donald Trump was published to YouTube, Andrew Schulz received this email from the Brooklyn Academy of Music, otherwise known as BAM, canceling the recording of his next stand-up special.
First off, I want to thank you for thinking of BAM for Andrew Schulz's upcoming comedy show. We are always excited when promoters consider our space for their events. After some internal discussions with leadership, it was decided that BAM is not the right fit for this show at this time. So if anybody has a venue, if you've got a venue for us, that'd be really great. I'd really love to shoot this special.
This email was sent just 3 hours after the 90-minute episode of Flagrant was uploaded to YouTube. And assuming the people at BAM have their post notifications turned on and watched the entire video, the internal discussion with leadership could not have lasted very long before they decided to cancel this special taping that had not only been on the books for a very long time, but was also just 1 month out from shooting.
It's not like we might do it here. It's booked, it's ready to go. We're going on sale this week. We have the entire production team come out. This is for the third time many of us are spotting the venue and looking at everything. We have the set design already curated. We're moving around seating plots, camera plots, like it's ready to go. We're going on sale this week. And we get an email 3.5 hours out, Brooklyn Academy of Music, which is a venue they've shot tons of specials in. And 3.5 hours after the interview, they cancel shows. They're canceling my shows, but they're also begging Live Nation to not cancel future shows with them. Like they still want business, but they're like, just not this guy. Now, I don't know if it's a Trump interview, but the day before it came out, we were ready to go and we're going on sale this week.
It's insane to think that providing the longest interview to date with a presidential candidate during a crucial time in the election could possibly get you banned from a venue that you've already toured 3 times. Clearly, BAM more than deserves some sort of pushback from this, but boycotting BAM does create an interesting paradox where the people who are most against cancel culture are now forced to actively partake in it in order to make their stance heard, basically doing the same thing to the venue that the venue did to Andrew Schulz. The biggest difference, however, is that each person has the right to vote with their wallets and not necessarily support a business that they differ from ideologically. But when the actual businesses themselves start to operate this way, it creates a situation where only certain artwork and certain voices are allowed to be heard, and all others get censored. Plus, in this situation with BAM, the outrage is even more harmless because unless you live in Brooklyn and attend a lot of live theater, the odds of any one of us who's actually pissed about this story ever getting a chance to boycott the Brooklyn Academy of Art and Music seems pretty low.
I mean, we've been looking nonstop, and the tricky thing, and I guess why this is, maybe this is too much inside baseball, but like most venues are booked like months in advance. So now you're dealing with like limited avails, but like, so we might have to do it, during a weekday, it might be a little bit more inconvenient. Hopefully everybody still comes out. That'd be really awesome.
And buy tickets very quickly, because usually these are on sale for months and months, and we're gonna have a short window. And also, because Andrew likes to change the seating plan in every venue he does, we also have to get approvals by the city that just make everything harder.
So if you happen to own a beautiful theater in New York City or the tri-state area, and you would like to open your doors to us, MAGA!
No, that's not. We don't endorse that. We don't endorse that. We don't endorse
listen,
it.
I'm a, what is it? My vote was up for grabs. The board of BAM has really pushed me in a direction. We have to stop this censorship.
We do have an invitation at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue to do this special.
Can we shoot it there? Hasn't there been enough shootings?
It's unfortunate that things like this are still occurring in a time where this type of corporate virtue signaling was finally starting to wind down. Before this incident with Andrew Schulz, the closest situation similar probably happened 8 months ago when Kurt Metzger, Jim Florentine, Louis J. Gomez, and Dave Smith all had shows canceled by a club in Seattle. And in a way, this has already become a very organic start to what I'm sure will be a long calculated marketing technique from Andrew Schulz surrounding this upcoming special. As many of you remember, the last hour from Andrew came out 2 years ago and performed very well, with the big hook being how he had to buy that special back from a streamer who wanted to censor half the jokes. So instead of sacrificing the art, Andrew Schulz spent half his life savings to release it behind his own paywall. The anti-corporation, pro-free speech story helped the project take off online, and 2 years later, it looks like BAM has given Andrew Schulz the same opportunity. Now, a lot of his fans were displeased when that same special came out on YouTube for free a month later, so it will be interesting to see how Andrew Schulz fully goes about releasing this next special. It seems like he would opt to do something radical and independent again, given that's what's worked his entire career. But after being a darling of the Brady roast, and with Hulu entering the comedy game as well, there could be plenty of mainstream options in play this time around. And ironically enough, it sounds like this next hour is a lot less of the flagrant humor we're used to seeing from Andrew, and is more personal storytelling about fatherhood, marriage, and as the name of his current tour suggests, life.
I pitched what the hour was about in order to like just discuss them, get them all on the same team. There were fans of like so touched by what it's about. It's not like they don't think that this particular hour is going to work for them. This felt personal.
Yeah, but they never specified though.
Again, I can't say for sure that this is what it is. Maybe after it came out, they familiarized themselves with me and then saw other things that they didn't like. That's also a possibility. But
haircut.
Yeah. It might have been that.
I was thinking that.
Fuck. Why did I do that? Fucking Dinklage. It's fucking Peter Dinklage's fault.
We have a quick update to this story. Literally, as we were editing the video today, Flagrant posted a new episode saying that Andrew Schulz will be recording his next special at the Beacon Theater in New York City, which is a bigger, better venue than BAM, so that definitely worked out. And the special will be coming out on Netflix, so happy endings all around. Guest spots from last week. The Joe Rogan Experience sat down with Shane Smith and Graham Hancock. Russell Peters and Sam Tripoli were on Kill Tony. Are You Garbage welcomed Paul Reiser. Tim Butterly and Greg Stone dropped by the Legion of Skanks. Wes Haney and Dan Simonson took a trip to Stavi's World. Two Bears One Cave was Bert and Judd Apatow. Rick Glassman was on Whiskey Ginger. Kendall Toole was a guest on Your Mom's House. Joe Gatto was on Bertcast. Andrew Callahan took a wild ride with Steve-O. The Tim Dillon Show, Sag Daddy DePod, and Flagrant all did not have guests. Chris DiStefano filled in for Andrew on Bad Friends. Tony Hinchcliffe stopped by the Duncan Trussell Family Hour and was also on the Donnell Rawlings Show, which is a brand new podcast available on Donnell's YouTube channel right now.
I did not walk off the f***ing show. I did not.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
I removed myself from a toxic situation to maintain my mental health. That's what the f*** I did.
And how did you remove yourself? Was it with a crane? Did you get it on rollerblades or did you walk?
Oh my God.
I don't know if you hear me, Donnell, but I cannot believe you would walk off on your own show. You should have done that at the Diddy party. I saw you sitting between his legs all happy and shit.
I wasn't in between his legs, and it was daytime!
Trials and tribulations.
This past weekend with Theo Von featured the amazing Acrocats. Frances Ellis took a trip to Stuff Island. Sarah Rafferty took her shoes off with Rick Glassman. Story Wars included TJ Miller, Ari Shafir, and Mike Cannon. Assad Benbow joined the Adam Friedland Show podcast. Mateo Lane sat on the couch with Soder. Kyle Dunnigan and Blair Saki stopped by We Might Be Drunk. Blair also was on Being Ian with Jordan. Austin Nazo went on First Date. Marlon Wayans was on the Blocks podcast. Colum Terrell was on the Tim Butterly Show. Mike Rainey stopped by Durag and the Deer Tag. Anna Kendrick made it weird with Pete Holmes. Sam Tripoli was on The Honeydew. The Zach and Lewis Show featured Maddie Smith and Dave Temple. And we interviewed Chris DiStefano right here on Joke World. As far as new stand-up comedy specials that are either out right now or coming out soon, Brett Ernst Uncaged is out right now on YouTube, along with Paul Verzi, Reasonable Man, Ryan Long, Solving the World's Problems, Josh Wolf, 4 Stories, and Ali Sadiq, the PTA special. We also have Lavelle Crawford, I Could Eat, out on Comedy Dynamics, Heather McMahon, Breadwinner, out on Hulu, and Rachel Bloom, Death Let Me Do My Special, on Netflix. And we also had Chris DiStefano upload 40 minutes of stand-up live from the New York Comedy Club.
I call the show I Have Nothing because I'm working on new material. I put it out every Sunday on my YouTube. And usually I have something. Usually I'm like, you got something, whatever. But this time I really don't have anything. So you guys are in for a fun one because it's truly, I'm going to be honest with you. I was sitting there today writing for 6 hours. I think I was doing 6 hours today. I was like, let me just write. And literally, this is what I've come up with. These are the questions. I said, could the founding fathers possibly have been trans?
There's also a few specials in the works right now that will be coming out soon. Starting off with Anthony Jeselnik's first special in 5 years, Bones and All, which premieres on Netflix this November. A little bit sooner than that, on October 26th, Seth Meyers' Dad Man Walking will be out on Max. And 3 days after that, Tom Papa Home Free will premiere on Netflix. And on December 24th, Nate Bargatze will be returning to Netflix with the first of his 2 new specials for the platform. Also around that same time, Nate will be teaming up with Lauren Michaels to host some sort of primetime holiday special for CBS. And not technically a special, but on October 25th, Stavros Halkias has the lead role in a new movie titled Let's Start a Cult, where according to Rotten Tomatoes, Stavi plays an obnoxious loser who teams up with his bogus ex-messiah after being left out of the cult's long-awaited suicide ritual. But other than that, there's been a ton going on in the comedy world recently, from Shane Gillis breaking the attendance record at Wells Fargo Arena, to Dave Chappelle's part at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductions. Plus, we just released the official Skankfest documentary that contained interviews with 11 different comedians, footage from inside the venue, news about next year's festival, and the biggest shout out of all time to everyone who signed up for our Patreon after watching that Skankfest documentary. You guys rule. I hope you've been enjoying the best of the week compilations and all the exclusive clips. But for those of you who don't know, we just launched our Patreon after a year of stocking it with over 100 different videos from every interview we've ever done, with the goal being to buy a Joke World news van to drive around here in Austin interviewing whatever comics are in town. If that sounds like something you want to be a part of, check the link below and consider subscribing. But if not, don't worry, we're not going to bring this up in every single video. It's just new right now and fresh and exciting, and people are joining, so whatever. But if you want the free stuff, as always, the free Joke World stickers are available as well in the link below, or shoot us a message on Instagram and we'll get those over within a few weeks. Thank you for watching.
At Joke World. That's it, at Joke World.
And the world is WRLD.
That's a great YouTube channel, Joke World. Check it out.